Hey Lo-Ryders, it's me Lois, and I'm here to do a video on the nonsense that I'm hearing in regards to Porsha and her mama and Shamea's mother and Shamea in regards to Diane being upset about something that happened 300 years ago. And I'm confusion at this point. Okay, because if you're not friends with Sarah, which is Shamea's mother, Diane, then what's the purpose of trying to dead your daughter's relationship with Shamea? I'm not understanding that. You're going to have to explain that to me like this too. And before I finish, guys, everything I say is alleged and in my opinion with some actual and factual. So, word on the streets is that supposedly both of these ladies had daycare centers back in the early 2000s. And in 2001, Diane's went into foreclosure. Now, I heard that she went to her and told her, to Sarah and told her that she was going into foreclosure and that she hopes whoever buys her business doesn't open up a daycare center. First of all, you can't tell people what to do with a foreclosed property once they own it. And second of all, if I was the one going in foreclosure, I'm going to my best friend who's in the same business as me and let her know, hey, yo, my shit is going into foreclosure. Is it a possibility you can get it so somebody else doesn't get it? That seems like the conversation that they would have had, alleged, and in my opinion, with some actual and factual. I'm just not understanding how this has become part of Porsha's storyline when it's not Porsha's story. Porsha already came in as a dud. You know what I'm saying? Season 16 was not very sweet to Porsha. She already came as a dud. So now it seems like they're just grasping at straws. So now we're going to bring up something that happened 20 years ago, okay? That probably didn't even happen, you know, because we don't know if it happened. Because this has never been discussed before, okay? We don't truly know the relationship of Shamea Morton's mother and Porsha's mother. Okay, Sarah and Diane. We don't truly know the relationship. All we know is we heard Diane say some nonsense about I don't mess with her. Okay, so if you don't mess with her, then don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person, once I'm done with you, I'm done. I ain't got nothing to say with you. I will not even breathe your name. You dig what I'm saying? But now everybody's coming after Shamea. All of a sudden, Shamea's a bad girl. Shamea's a this and Shamea's a that. Now, this is Shamea's first full season carrying a peach. However, Shamea has been on the show since what? Season 5? She came on when Kenya and Porsha came on, if everybody remembers. Shamea was sitting at that table with them at that charity event, okay? When Porsha went outside to find out what Kenya was doing and got an attitude and told her to get out after Kenya had already left. A lot of people don't remember that. She was nasty out the gate. But in regards to her friendship with Shamea, it just seems like to me the friendship has already always been one-sided on Porsha's end. Porsha didn't give a flipping dip about Shamea and anything that she had going on, including her wedding, which she didn't attend, alleged, and in my opinion. And then we find out years later she could have kept that to herself, that she lied. You know? What was the point in lying? Okay? That's your friend. You tell your friend the truth. And then had the nerve to get mad when Kenya had a conversation with Shamea and was talking about, well, that's my friend, that she's not your friend. We all knew that. You know, but you were claiming Shamea, but you don't want to claim Shamea. You only want to claim Shamea when it's somebody that the audience as a collective whole does not like them. Okay, and we know that half the people don't like Kenya. Well, I love me some Kenya more. But I'm sitting here watching these people just rake Shamea over the coals based on some bullcrap Porsha said, when we've allowed Porsha to be a bully, to be violent, to lie, to thought, okay? Because she had 2 seasons where she was Thotina, if y'all remember. And probably 3, now that I think about it. after she got divorced. We've allowed her behaviors to get worse and worse and worse, and nobody held her accountable for it. What happened after she hit Kenya, and she didn't hit Kenya, she pulled Kenya's hair. After she pulled Kenya's hair, and she did not lose her job, she got worse and worse and worse. And people continued to reward her for bad behavior. She was offered several jobs, okay? All of a sudden, she's the it girl. Her subscriber count went through the roof practically overnight. You dig? Overnight, this happened. All because she pulled Kenya's hair and she kept her freaking job, okay? Nobody called her out on her bad behavior at any time. And now Shamea is this. She's a black sheep. She's not a good friend. She could possibly buy Porsha's house if it goes into foreclosure. I'm gonna need y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. Not all y'all. The ones that know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. The ones that are out here blaming Shamea for the way Porsha behaves. I'm gonna need y'all to regroup or go ahead and rewatch the show. Because Porsha has always treated Shamea like street booty. Okay? That's her friend. That's supposed to be her friend. I have friends that I've had for 50 years. Yes, 50 plus years. Since I was 5 years old. And I'm 66 now. We are still friends. We still talk to one another on the phone. They still live in New York. When I go to New York, I make sure I go and visit them and see them and so forth and so on. But we still maintain contact. But one of them is my best friend. I might as well say the whole family is my best friend, because when when you have one as the best friend, the rest of the family becomes the best friend. And yeah, we're still together, okay? And there have been things that have happened in our lives, fighting, carrying on, dealing with another friend's man, so forth and so on. And we made it through all of that because we were able to sit down and talk about it. But it seems like Porsha don't ever want to discuss anything with anyone unless it's on her terms and when she wants to discuss it. And then when she pretends that she wants to talk about it, she don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about that. Well, I ain't got nothing to say. And she's been running this immature act since she first started. Now, between me, you, and the gatepost, I think that Porsha's smarter than a lot of people are giving her credit for. Okay, she likes to play that silly role. I don't know anything. Like, when she drinks, she can't remember stuff. And if she did something, I don't remember. She remembers every damn thing she did because she has a method to her madness. And if it works, then she's okay. Just like with stealing Fallon's husband, alleged, and in my opinion, with actual and factual. She came out with this whole story that they were in a motherfucking relationship. That's bullshit. And I don't believe that, because if they was in a relationship, then why didn't Andy Cohen and the rest of Bravo know that you were in a relationship with Simon before Fallon came on the show? Okay, make it make sense, because that's logically not making any sense to us. If y'all were in a relationship, because we know these shows get filmed at least a year or so in advance, okay? 6 months to a year in advance. So then why didn't they know that you guys were in a relationship? And why didn't they know that Fallon and Simon were going through a divorce? Because that shit was made up. And then why did you quit? Okay, Real Housewives of Atlanta, if you didn't do anything wrong. Porsha, why did you quit? Explain to me, like I'm two, why you quit the show. You quit the show because you didn't want to have to deal with it. You didn't want to have a conversation about it. And see, it seems like everybody is sweeping it under the rug at this juncture because they don't want to upset Porsha. Well, fuck Porsha. Okay? Just like y'all can get into everybody else's business, we can get into Porsha's business. Okay? And her mama mouth ain't no prayer book. I don't believe that there was a fallout about the the nurseries. I don't believe that. I don't believe there was a fallout about that. I believe that's something they grasped onto, and this is alleged, in my opinion, with some actual and factual. I believe they grasped onto that to try to save Porsha's zero comeback, because I don't call it a comeback. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a never been. I don't know. But I've watched this woman. She literally invited Dennis and his peeps on a trip on one of her shows. You know, they had the little show with her and Simon, and literally called his mother everything but the child of God and was throwing bottles and glasses and stuff. Why wasn't she arrested? And why wasn't she fired at that point? Because at that point, somebody could have got seriously hurt. You know what I'm saying? But she's allowed to behave the way that she behaves because it's good for the cameras, so to speak. It's good for the cameras. I'm not thinking it's good for the cameras. I'm just thinking that they're letting her slide. And Porsha is a liability, and they're not going to realize it until they all get sued, okay? And then Porsha benefited nicely from a Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's be real clear about that. She benefited nicely. I want to say Shamea benefited nicely as well because she got exposure. But this is her first full season, her first year, her first season as a peach holder. And everybody says, okay, let's go ahead and drag Shamea. For the last several seasons, everybody was like, oh, Shamea is a God bless. She's a godsend. She's the best friend. Porsha ain't shit. Boopity boppity bam. Blippity bloppity bloop. But when Shamea's on these interviews where they ask questions, you know, and she's talking about what they're asking her about, then everybody want to clutch their virtual pearls because she's a bad friend now all of a sudden. But Porsha's never been a bad friend. Ever. Porsha's never been a bad friend. But Shamea all of a sudden is a bad friend. Well, I don't like it. Okay? Porsha is a one-trick pony. She only knows how to be one way. That's conceited. I don't give a fuck about you. You're not as cute as me. Since I got my ass and my tits and my face and everything else done, alleged, and in my opinion, I'm the shit. That's how Porsha walks around. And she don't have time for nobody else. Okay? But it's not Shamea's fault. She was like that already. She gets it from her mama because you can tell. Both of them is conceited to tell. They don't even treat Lauren like she's real family. They just think it's just Porsha and Diane. Okay. And then in my closing, in my opinion, I really think that Porsha always wanted Shamea to stand in her background. But because Shamea had her own thing, she was an actress. She's done things before she even came on to Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was an actress. She's a singer, so forth and so on. And now she does business. I just think that Porsha's not liking the fact that Shamea is not a background character. She's actually front and center. And it bothers her that that Shamea is getting so much love that she's just going to go ahead and just rock the boat. You know, say, fuck it. If everybody's going to give her love, then I'm telling all her business. I don't give a fuck what you tell about Shamea. I still think she's a nice person. And whatever happened between Diane and Sarah ain't got shit to do with Shamea. And it ain't got shit to do with Porsha and Shamea as friends. And that's that. And Shamea is now the enemy, and Porsha is still being treated as the passenger princess. And that's what I want to say. Yes, she is. Shamea absolutely did nothing wrong. Sometimes in friendships, you're going to say things about your friend, because I've been there, done that, and I've had it done to me. But the mature and adult thing that we've done is have a talk out, okay? And we didn't do it on national TV either. Okay, we don't have that kind of clout to be on TV. One day we'll get discovered. But the fact remains that we're still friends because we were adult about it. We talked about it. We fought about it. Yes, we had fights. We absolutely had fights, you know, but we're still friends. And we're talking, I said 50 plus years. Yeah, about 60 years. Because like I said, I met them when I was 5. That was 61 years ago. Woo-hoo for friendship, long term, lifelong friendships, baby. Okay, so Porsha needs to get her stuff together and leave Shamea alone. Okay, if y'all not going to be friends, then dead it. End the friendship and let it go. Okay? And then you ain't got to talk about it. Don't be about it like everybody else when you done with a friend. You want to keep talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. If that friendship is not there anymore and you don't want to be friends with Shamea, then let her go, Porsha. That's all I got to say. Lo-Ryders, get down in these comments and tell me what you think about this video. And tell me if you believe that Porsha has been a true blue friend to Shamea for 20 plus years. Because I don't believe it. And don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends, your family, your enemies, and anybody that Lois is on the beat. Okay? I love each and every one of you immensely. Wakanda forever. Peace. I'm out.